So, we don't fight our women. We might fight the drugs. We might fight poverty. We might fight disenfranchisement. We might fight disillusions and what is it called? Non-contingency plans for people. We might fight things, yet we do not do that to our women. The things that a woman might do, you can address and approach those things, but you must approach the woman. God said, approach the woman as she is. She is before all of that stuff. So when it's all said and done, you must understand that some folks have lost their way. They do not understand that without her, there is no them. So when they go out of that realm, they begin to be other than themselves. They must apply the appreciation of the woman.
Three-fifths. Now, a full-grown Caucasian male is usually around 5'10", 5'10" to 6 feet tall. And then at the knee level, the Negro or the so-called black man is considered full-grown at the age of 3 to 5, and or at the knee level, which is the niece, the girl or the Chinese, the powerful girl. So therefore, considering being called a Negro, you've been called a Negro since the age 3 or 5, but not just called Negro, you've been considered grown at the age of 3 to 5 and dimed on.
The black man and the marriage. Where we look around and it's only black women, black children, brown women, and brown children as men, as black men or original men. We only see our own women and children, our own type, our own daughters. They look like us. They do things similar to us. Their heart beats because of us. Our heart beats because of them. When they start to cry, it is us that feel them. There is no other people. When the time that the child may cry inside of the home, those are where the parents are, where the actual tribes are as a people, so that when we start to aspire for different things and then we start to see through exploration a different type of people. Their hair is different, their skin is different, their talk is different, their language is different, their diet, their food, they like drugs, they're violent, they're mean, they don't care about our God. So then it would be a foreign thing to have one of those types in the house. So we would instantaneously, easily know the difference between a family member, someone that is always actually there for certain basic things. That's something that is family toward God, God's family. I was here when that happened. I was there when that happened. I was here when that happened. I heard that. I said this. I stated that. I went through this. so that you know that the foreign people, meaning there's a different people. Our people could be going through tumultuous times, and you could look across the road, and those people could be laughing and playing and drugging. Meaning there has to be an understanding of different people just by as looking at the birds or the horses or the puppies. So that when I see that initially mating is not the same as the base of the origination. Meaning, if you took away the cell phones and the tablets and the internets and the electricity to turn them on for about an hour, then the connection that you have is more real. So if I state I must present my teachings again, much stronger again, then my teachings will be given to the right people. One person may hear your teachings. One group of your people may hear your teachings over here on the west side. Yeah, that is the truth. That before we were given a drug people, a violent people, people that told us things, we were already doing things. We were already a tradition and a people. God said that when they come upon our people and meet our people, then over time our people would be that. People that have been met or things have come upon them. But in all actuality, that's why God, that's where the truth of the matter of the message is, where God will say, well, I'm speaking to you as if in, or as the people that have had something come upon them. Not speaking to you as something other than yourself, meaning talking to you about you and those people. We're saying that God would be able to direct you or direct our people or our families, not those people. So God would say, well, that's where the black man's marriage is attacked. Where every day he already knows that he can't disassociate himself from being a son of a black woman. He can't do that. He can talk about that, but he can never do that on the earth. So every time we have a son that has a black mother, we have a duty, an obligation once we find out who we are on this earth as having black moms in the midst. So if you have a black mother, that means that we have a black mother, meaning that the black mother is how we have resources. The black mother is where we would find ourselves, more of us. We might find something that we put into something by going to other people. When you go and say, well, let's say you find 5 basic strong skills within your black mother that just instructed you. She could tell you many things, yet you find these 5 basic skills of instruction from your black mother, and then you go to other people and you will find so many things, even the point where they would try to teach you the same thing that your mother taught you, possibly to trick you. So over time, a mother may just say, I already told you or taught you about this. So that is another portion of understanding the black man and the marriage, meaning it does not pertain to the Caucasian, meaning the Caucasian is here and there every day. The black man is going to be black regardless. He's going to be black when he comes upon a sister, or black when he comes upon a brother, black when he comes upon an enemy, an opposer, a church, or anything. A black man is a black man in this state or this country. There is no other real marriage unless you understand that you have a black mother. So God says that you have a black mother and a father in heaven, at least, meaning that will guide you from that direction, right? So when you leave to go do things on the earth as a black son, as long as you are connected to your black mother, then she would have to state who we are. The light, the shining light, the sun, the continuation, so that she doesn't go actually outside of me or that in which she produced anyway. She knows that I am the only true one that could do anything for her because we stem from her loins. Every word that proceeds from our mouth has some formulation or source from the black woman. That is how we know how to find our own home or safety. You can find cash in something called security toward policy or property, yet there's a home agreement or home atmosphere that is more African, more Asian, more Asiatic, more black, more melanated. It's a home, meaning the hug that you get from your mama the first time when you enter the earth, that's more home. So it's really basic about the marriage ordeal, meaning without words. Then you have signs and symbols. And says, I can easily say that there must be some form of intelligence. And it says that, of course, every day there in this city or other cities, there is an every second onslaught against the black family. So that if there is a black man or a black father, argument can remove fathers. A disagreement every single day. So then you think that because of something, it's just a lack of guidance. God would say, so y'all actually think that I'm not going to be able to produce a blueprint around you? And say, well, I know the children aren't going to be successful from following after some of the things that our people do. So the marriage has to start off with being a sun, a shining light, meaning there's a difference between a carnal relationship and being a black son or the son of a black mother because of our services and our productions. Meaning, if when the black steps outside, we is the only protector of the black woman. If the black man chooses to not love the black woman, then no one else will. No other man can. Because it's a matched perfect love. She needs to be free from a city. Well, we've seen for 300-400 years, 200 years, that she's surrounded by 70% of a different type of people and has never received any progress. Only time she receives that progress is with Marcus Garvey, or the Moorish Science Temple, or the Black Church, or the Nation of Islam, or the Hebrew Israelites. Anytime the Black Panthers, anytime she starts to see any type of progress, is because she listens to the message that says that, well, whoever you are, they go to split in two every time. And God is the one that will show up and tell you and speak to both of them. The oppressor or the people that are ignorant, they would not ever see anything except for what their eyes can see without going to God first. The black woman will go into meeting people and being split. So they're talking to her about another person that she's not. Helping her to be secure in something other than who she really is. which is a free black woman or a free woman in society. So what is the marriage between the son? Because once the son gets older, we are the rulers of that in which we state. As long as we state protection and services for our women and children, for the black women and children, and then I go around and I don't hear anyone else state it, then it's the loudest words, it's the loudest statement, the most powerful ordeal, because we see other things continuously going. There ain't no change. Change meaning your house doubles in size overnight. Your protection for those who you care about and you're close to or that they care about doubles overnight. So, the marriage doesn't have anything to do with the Caucasian unless it's already agreed that that's some type of Caesar thing. That they do not love our people, they don't care about our people, but they have industries that our people can go deal with and bring back to our nation and help our people. Because every time that you do anything for your oppressor, that's being undone and not done for you. So I will just command 100% cooperation with any black woman in America at all times. That's who I am, who we are. If you can't take, as a black woman, your black man or black brother or son, in general, if you can't deal with them, but you go shellac and slap five with all Caucasians and all slime buckets, go to the Minute Mart and slide over your hard-earned cash and call them thanks. But you can't get with your actual source, because ain't no one going to do right by the black woman except for the righteous black man. But he says, well, guess what? When she says something in defense, he has to be righteous enough to say, well, look, we got to make sure that all Caucasians is removed from the mentality of our woman first, so that she can think clearly first, meaning is to wake up from the Caucasian first before she can make a statement. Other than that, let her become the slave and try to produce more slaves, where God would say, ain't you the type that I told I forgave you more than you forgive others? I mean, I continuously keep forgiving you and helping you go along. When or what are you going to do for my people besides to leave them alone then? you can see that here's an entertainment group, right? A couple that makes billions of dollars, millions to start off with and billions now, right? They don't have a 3-year economic blueprint for a nation. They don't have the aspiration to do it. They don't have the courage or protection with $1 billion in a black family or so-called. They don't have it. So guess what? Remove the $1 billion from them, and then what are they? That's a black family. He said that Malcolm's family made more progress from the aspiration, and they weren't billionaires, not in the sense of the Caucasian. Maybe they have billions of other monetary or valuable ordeals in the States. But their pockets didn't need to do that for black people. Martin Luther King's, he wasn't a billionaire, yet he did more. See, these are families that we're saying, well, how come? Because there's a difference between actually doing what we're supposed to do or being in a circle or a recycled thing, you know, where they use our people up so that they can have a few more years on this planet. And that's it. You know, the stories where people get put away while so forth is laughing and playing and having fun. Well, when the calendar changes a little bit, you go back to and you say, well, what happened to the laughing playing? What happened to them? They just gonna die. That's their practice. They go find people to do the same thing. So the narrative, the commentary, I already told you this, I stated this, that the Caucasian knows that when they started to meet our people, they produced a system, a certain amount of words that they would state and did not state or would not state around our people at least for hundreds of years. And it keeps them in a certain form. You know how, if you could state, let us do this, let us do that, and you keep saying that. Or, I'm this, I'm a this, I'm the this, all the time. Well, our people eventually started to call them that or this and that. So I found out that they're so easy to break because of the English. America lies with the English anyway. So I said, every Caucasian, if you really think about it, that is how it is. That's why, or that's how some Caucasians are removed from being considered Caucasian, because some folks will say, no, they like us. Well, those are the ones that get a different group of words to say to be around our people. But the bottom line is the Caucasian that thinks that they're different than you or something, they have a certain set of words. So God said, have you ever noticed that my folks have certain sets of words too? Let's say that the Caucasian is saying something to you. Okay, if you're dumb enough to even be around Caucasians for no reason too much, that's the dumb people. So the Caucasian is saying something. Well, they're used to having, since let's say we know we have about 40 million people. So they deal with percentages of 60 to 70. So they know based upon whatever they do, 60 to 70% of our so-called black people just kind of face value, basically, without even checking, will take whatever the Caucasian is talking about sometimes. Well, there's another group of words that God said that when you hear any Caucasian says anything, there's only about 20% of us left that know what they're saying, know what to say around them. Because God said when you go into checking to find out what the devil is saying, the devil is always saying devilish things. The devil is always oppressing our people, or trying to, all the time. So God said I could easily state what a devil is today, or who the oppressor is today. God said that once I start to teach my people that there's a group of words that you can walk with every day, same as the Caucasian does, but it's a group of words, meaning those words will help to guide where you go for the day, that where you go to build, all the things that, even the communication, the building plans that you may have. Well, God will say, I have to give you words to go with yourself, or else guess what? The Caucasian will advertise and market you all day. So they're trying to get you to forget about your mama. Or forget about yourself. So that you can go do that to other people. Because the Caucasian likes to do that. To get other people to be tricked. To go on out and to hurting their own people. Serving the Caucasian it is love. Walking around saying that you love your oppressor is the only thing that has kept them alive. That's the same thing as what they do to our people. They do not love our people. They say that we matter. They don't talk about love, nothing, because they don't know what it is. So we go amongst those people trying to figure out, well, the communication pieces and how come you can't get nowhere with those people? Because they don't have love in their heart. They have violence and hate. So God said, I will tell you this as well. I'm more violent and hateful than any one of them anyway. So once they start to go into that realm, woe to their so-called agenda. You go to disrespect something. Well, then we go to disrespect our oppressor. See, Wendy, or the wind, is a woman, and I know that she is black. And she does things in the air all the time. She basically says, oh, I need to go find where my son is doing things. Because a lot of people put a lot of things out in the air or in the wind. I state, well, I'm basically with the wind, or with Wendy, by stating protection and service for the women and children, because Wendy sweeps, or the wind sweeps across the nation in a form and a fashion that's more powerful than the Caucasian. They get scared and go home. when it's time to bring the same hate multiplied by many. Situations, basically. You take that. Wendy says that that's the key. If we've got you speaking on behalf of something that Wendy is gonna destroy or take out, Wendy says, well, I'm family with a certain type of people, the wind. And says, until my people start to state and put in the air or allow for the wind to flow a certain way, then she says, by nature, she has to wait. As long as our people are standing near the people that, even because the wind could destroy a city or something, certain things that just by nature. So if our oppressors actually have a result, I mean, yep, as long as we step back away from Caucasians, our people would be getting off of drugs faster. We'd be more protected. The words that God gives us, we would be able to utilize them better. Because you don't give what God says belong to us, you don't give it to the Caucasian. And if anything, you go back and take it back from them and bring it back to your people. So God said that we're more powerful just by being able to understand the wind. To say, dang, as long as I go out and step outside where Wendy's at and state anything on behalf of whatever I choose, I noticed that it's more effective than the Caucasian. The Caucasian has been saying a whole bunch of things in the wind, in the air, all different types of stuff. Nothing on behalf of what Wendy has for our people. And says, guess what? Take your people away from Caucasian people. Don't talk to them. If you work amongst them, don't say nothing to them. Become free.
If we told our sisters, no one's going to do that to you. then no one would do that to her. She already knows that no one talks to the actual sister. She can say you could talk to the beer. You could talk to the paycheck. You could talk to the drugs. You could talk to the problems and issues. But you cannot say anything to the one that brought you here, dummy. See, the Caucasian caused for you to think something strange, right? To cause for you to think that you are something like them, something similar to them. They do not like your mother. So how can you be similar to them and survive? I've told you this, that God said that there's a pure vessel portion. So, we don't fight our women. We might fight the drugs. We might fight poverty. We might fight disenfranchisement. We might fight disillusions and what is it called? Non-contingency plans for people. We might fight things, yet we do not do that to our women. The things that a woman might do, you can address and approach those things, but you must approach the woman. God said, approach the woman as she is. She is before all of that stuff. So when it's all said and done, you must understand that some folks have lost their way. They do not understand that without her, there is no them. So when they go out of that realm, they begin to be other than themselves. They must apply the appreciation of the woman.